Welcome to episode one of Personal Style series. So I'm gonna restart the whole Personal Style series again, so I'm a little more clear with you, so you can actually take the information that I'm sharing and hopefully help you develop your personal style, so you could stop buying fast fashion or wasting your money on replenishing on fast fashion and curating yourself a personal wardrobe that's authentic to you. I think this is the only true way that I see that is going to be sustainable in the long run. I think like the issue is a lot of people talk about sustainable fashion and they are giving this what is the problem? Yeah, I think that the overconsumption of fast fashion being the main issue, but while fast fashion is in part responsible, there's also another part. You as a consumer also need to be held accountable. So I'm trying to teach you a different way of thinking about when you're buying your fashion and developing personal style, because I think the likelihood of you consuming fast fashion or buying disposable fashion would be less likely and be more environmentally friendly in the long run than if you are just, if I'm just telling you like the problem is this, it's overproduction, it's the water wastage, is using this material. Yes, it's all fine and dandy, but it's not going to help you, change your shopping habits and consume less of fashion. So that's why I'm going to show you, how to develop your personal style that's authentic to you. And hopefully that this way would change your shopping habits and you're able to buy, clothes that you would want to wear instead of clothes that you think that it's in the moment of a trend of some fashion influencer or from some fashion brand, and you feel like if you don't buy it you're going to have FOMO. And I want to get you out of the FOMO mindset and really understand why fashion brands are creating fashion the way they are now versus even 10 years ago. And I'm only speaking from my experience of being in the industry for over 30 years, with a lot of brands. So from the time that I've started out my career until now, I've seen the change even in high-end designer brands. And I can also explain to you why the pricing is also exponentially higher than it used to be. And a lot of it has to do with overconsumption of fashion, especially fast fashion. So anyway, let's begin on personal style. So how do you establish your personal style, right? The clothes that you want to wear, the clothes that you enjoy wearing. I think a lot of problem I see in social media is that um, a lot of people presenting like all these new outfits, right? And yes, these influencers, they look really good in it and they know how to style themselves because they have been into fashion for themselves for the long run, but the way they wear fashion is not necessarily authentic to you and your lifestyle or your style aesthetic or the thing that is going to look good on your body and your lifestyle, and I think that's the key thing a lot of people don't understand. The personal style, it really is personal to you. Like no one can tell you, to dress this and that, if you don't feel comfortable in it. If you see some fashion trend and you put it on, and I'm sure we've all been there, we see fashion trends, that look really great. It's presented in ad campaigns on the website. Some bunch of fashion influencers are gonna wear it. Yeah, like they know what works, but again, it's authentic to them and it might not necessarily be authentic to you. And I want to get you out of the mindset of following trends, because when you have a personal style and you have a certain look, it doesn't matter what the fashion trend is, because once you have your personal style, people recognize that that's your style. They're not gonna say you're dated, you're out of style, whatever, right? Because no one ever accused Anna Wintour of not having a personal style, but they might not get it because it's not, they don't understand that that's her personal style. It might not be authentic to them, and that's why they don't see her, as being fashion forward. But she has a lot of access to a lot of fashion. more than both you and I to pull together, right? So even given all that, if you look at her style aesthetic, you can see that she has a style uniform. The same thing with Iris Apfel. I know like a lot of people say, okay, fashion's for the young, but Iris Apfel is not a young woman, but you know that she has a personal style, right? She's about fun colors, she's about embroidery, she's about embellishment. Like that's her style. And no one can claim that she's not fashionable, right? Because she has her own personal style and you know what the look is. And that's what I'm trying to say, like you have to figure out what your look is, and then you have to build a closet around that look that you want, right? And then find the brands that have those styles that you want. Then you could kind of start curating those looks. And again, like when I talk about wardrobe curation, I don't mean that you buy everything this season. It's that you start, building a board, right, of what you really want in your closet. And then you go out to shop for it. And when I say shop, I don't mean to just go out buy willy nilly. I mean really like look at the clothes, and sometimes like a gray sweater, right? 20, 50 brands will put out a gray sweater in a season, right? But each gray sweater is going to be different. It could be a crew neck, V-neck, it could be cable knit, it could be a fine knit. There's a lot of things that's involved, so you have to find the gray sweater that's authentic to you, that you want to wear in the long run, right? So you don't, if you like, let's just say that if you have a very maximalist style aesthetic, right? And you like a more is more, right? You're gonna buy like the cable knit sweater. You're gonna buy something with embellishment, right? Because that's authentic to you. But if you have a minimal style aesthetic, that chunky chunky cable knit sweater with embellishment, it might be your style. So that's why I say you have to really find the styles that's authentic to you, that you want to wear, not today, not next week, not 2 months from now. You want to wear it now, and then you want to wear it next year, you want to wear it 2 years from now. So when you are buying something and you're shopping for it, you are looking for a specific, item, and you want to buy it for the long run. So in the time that you're shopping, you're looking for it, you can also save your money. You have time to save up for buying the high quality item that you want, that you think that's not within your price range. I think that that's the thing about when people are buying fast fashion. And I know that a lot of you are susceptible to this. Like you go buy it when this is season, right? Because it's in. You see all the fashion girlies doing it, so you think that that's what you need to do. But you buy it and then you wear it, and then next season it might be out, or you might see 50 other people wearing it, so you feel like I don't want something like that because everyone's wearing it, right? And when it comes to personal style, it has to be personal to you, right? And a lot of people who enjoy fashion, they want their own style that's uniquely to them, right? So if you buy fast fashion, and you see like 50 other people that are wearing it, the likelihood of you kind of tossing it aside would be highly likely than something that is unique to you that you can get. And that's why I see a lot of people talking about like gatekeeping all this stuff and finding stuff, you know, that's to them. And it might not necessarily sometimes be that, they find something. It could be also the way they wear it. And the way they wear it is talking about styling it. So that's why I say like really you have to really think about your purchases a lot more carefully and not buy things just because it's rarely available. And that's the thing about personal style. It's not to just buy things that just accessible. It's like you have to think about it. How does it fit into your wardrobe as a whole, right? Can you create multiple outfits with it? Can you see yourself wearing this for the long run, right? So when I talk about wardrobe curation, it's not building up a closet, of things that you want to wear, that you can mix and match, that looks cohesive, that when you are wearing and creating outfits, you could create outfits in multiple ways that's uniquely to you and the way you style it. So that's why I say like wardrobe curation is a slow process. Shopping for something. You could shop things and put in your shopping cart. You don't have to go do the checkout all the time. You could just go and check out the things that you really find that you really want. That's why I say like when you are shopping, let it sit in your shopping cart. Let it sit in the shopping cart for a week or two. If you really want it, 2 weeks from now, most likely you're gonna wear, the likelihood of you wearing that item would be more likely than something that is impulse buy. Like, I saw someone wear it, so I'm gonna put it in my shopping cart. I'm gonna check out, and then you bring it home, you buy it or you get it in the mail, and then you put it on, and then you feel like it's not you because you know that's an impulse buy. You saw someone wearing it and you thought it was cute, but you really have to think about how would it fit you, proportion in your body type. How is it cohesively creating outfits in your wardrobe, right? So when I talk about personal style, it's like it's all this stuff that you have to factor in. It's not just buying things just for the sake of buying. You could shop for it, and shopping, I say, like, shopping is about looking, thinking about it and seeing if you really want it, right? And having the idea of creating multiple outfits with it, and styling it differently. So I would say I would encourage you to go shop. I would not encourage you to buy, and when you buy something, you have to really think about, is it worthwhile for you to buy it? Um, so I think like that's the thing that I really want to get across is that um, I know that a lot of people, question like, how do I find like how do I do how do I what brand would you recommend for this? What brand would you recommend for that? I can't recommend brands for you, without knowing your budget, your personal style, your body type, all this other stuff, right? Because every brand have a different target customer. Every brand have, a different style aesthetic. So if I recommend something that I don't know you, or fits you, there's no way I would willy-nilly recommend a brand. So that's why I don't like a lot of these videos say like, oh, you should buy this brand, you should buy that brand. I would say like, this brand is good for this purpose of they have good quality, they have good workmanship. The way that this fits, it fits a certain body type. I could give you those kind of recommendations. I would never give a recommendation saying like, oh, a blanket statement like buy from this brand, buy from that brand. It does not work, and that's just also promoting overconsumption and buying styles that do not necessarily fit you. Um, so anyway, so let's go back to personal style. So what is personal style, right? A lot of people want to know what I think about what personal style is. So personal style is just, you know, a way of wearing clothes or a style aesthetic that feels good when you wear it, right? And it's a representation of your personality and your lifestyle. So without knowing this about yourself, so you have to figure, okay, what do you really like to wear? Do you like to wear neutrals like this, you know, or do you like to wear colors? Or maybe you like something that's monochromatic, right? So there's a lot of things that you have to factor in. What colors do you like to wear? Then you have to think about what silhouettes do you like. Do you like to wear something that's form fitting? Do you like something that's loose? So these are the things that you have to factor in when you think about your personal style. How do you want the clothes to look on you, right? Besides color, you think about your silhouette. Then you have to think about your body proportions, right? You have to understand what the body proportions are, right? And I've done the whole series here on TikTok about, silhouettes. You could go look at the playlist for it, and also have a YouTube video out, with the kiwi and the silhouettes. If you want to go look that out, it's extensive. I explain what everything is. I give you like what the design details that you should be looking out for, all this stuff to help you to understand how to dress yourself. Because once you understand this, the likelihood of you buying styles that look really bad on you, that if you buy something that's gonna look bad on you, you're either gonna return it, or you're gonna let it just sit in your closet, or you're gonna have it donated or sell it off, right? So I want to kind of stop that shopping habit of buying things that do not fit you, that not look good on you, and understanding what your kibi and your silhouette is, and what your body proportions are, so you could actually find the brands that fit you. You know, you have to understand, you know, each brand. I don't think a lot of people know, like, the brands, the real fashion brands, not these, you know, fly the seat of pants kind of brands, you know, and definitely not fast fashion brands. A lot of these brands spend a lot of money hiring fit models. They have a technical designer, you know, they have pattern makers, all these people, you know, to create clothes to fit a certain body type, you know, and depending on the fit model, you know, every fit model has a different body type, you know, on the kibi and a silhouette. You know, I've worked with enough to know that just because it's a size 4 does not mean that it fits all size 4s. So you have to find the brands that fit you, you know. So if you understand your colors, you understand your silhouettes, you know, and then you understand the brands that are that are designing around the colors and the silhouettes that you want, that's you, then it's easy for you to, you know, be more brand loyal and buy from the brands that fit into your personal style. And then you could start slowly curating a wardrobe that really is authentic to you, you know, that you want to wear, and clothes that you find that I can't believe, like, I've had this, you know, 5 years, 10 years, you know, and it still looks great. And it's still like, I want to wear it, you know, because if you find something you could wear 5 years, 10 years, you're not replenishing, you're not wasting your money on buying something on repeat, right? That's not really you. Again, going back to the gray sweater, there are so many style aesthetics to a gray sweater. Because if I say gray sweater, I'm sure you conjure up what a gray sweater is. How I conjure up my image of a gray sweater and how you might, you know, conjure up the image of a gray sweater could be different based on your style aesthetic. Again, you know, so that's why I say that you really have to really think about what it is that you want to wear and what your style is. And then to start off with, it's like you have to kind of, you know, create a mood board. You know, I think, like, I did a video on that where I've said multiple times, it's a use Pinterest. Pinterest is free, you know, it doesn't really cost you anything, you know, except for your time. Create mood boards, you know, put up an image of what you want your ideal to be, right? And then based off of that, find the colors that you want to wear. You know, like, I created this minimalist. I created a very neutral palette. I had this Maximus with very bright colors. I have a feminine style aesthetic. You know, so it's like, and I have an edgy. So it's like I create multiple palettes for you as an inspiration for you to kind of start developing your own mood boards for you to curate, right? Because once you realize, like, what it is that you like in design details, you can start actively looking for it and shopping for it. And when you find exactly the thing that you want, then buy it, you know? And it doesn't have to be this season, it doesn't have to be next season, you know? Find the brands. And again, this is another thing I want to point out is, don't be so stuck, you know, with a brand, you know, thinking that, don't be biased against a brand, right? Because you don't know. I can say that life cycle of a fashion designer with fashion brands is 3 to 5 years, and they change, you know, designers in the design team quite often, except for maybe the head designer or the person who have the eponymous brand, the owner of the brand per se, right? But usually the design team behind it, that means the assistant designer, the associate designer, the technical designer, all these people constantly change, you know? So with every change of designers comes a new mindset of new creativity, you know? So even though a brand have a aesthetic, the designs that come with the design team changes, you know, and depending on who is in the production team, a lot of times also the factories change. So the quality sometimes you some I get like comments like, I bought from this brand, but now the brand sucks, Yes, because the team behind the brand changes. So that's why I say you have to go actively like shop, look for things on repeat, go to the brand and look at what they put out each season, because if you like the core aesthetic, sometimes the design team, they design something that you don't like. Next season, they might design something that you really love because maybe they change someone in the design team. Someone comes up with a more creative process of reinterpreting the design aesthetic of the brand. Sometimes the quality suffer, but they change the production team. Someone changes, then that also changes the quality. So don't be so stuck about oh, this brand suck or that brand suck. You have to go again in wardrobe curation. Is a long end game, so you have to be open-minded and look at what the brand is putting out, and I'm sure that if you look at collections, sometimes you look, I mean, even for me, sometimes I think like, I love the designer, I love this brand, but they put a shitty collection, but I will still go back and look at the next collection they did, because again, I'm sure if you heard like even big brands, when Karl Lagerfeld died, a new creative came in. So I think recently, I think Gucci also had a new creative director. So all these people, and also like um, Bottega Veneta also had this thing with a new creative director. So that's why I say like you have to go look at the brands. So not even just the top tier brands, even brands like the Gap, Banana Republic, J. Crew. So two brands I know for sure that have new designers that's been all over the fashion feed. If you follow, it's like there's a new designer with J. Crew, right? And there's a new designer with, and I think Banana Republic is also revamping. And I've looked at the stuff, and the stuff is pretty good from what I've seen online, And I think like in the new year, I'm gonna go and let it sit for a while, because I don't want to go into the first season and look at it. I want to go into the second season and see the quality and see if they kept it, and not just doing a stunt at the first season. So even for someone like me who is knowledgeable, I will still be open minded and look at brands, and always look, the amount of time. Maybe I'm a bit of a workaholic and I happen to love fashion. So I would go shop, the stores online. I would look at the quality, because there's things in online that looks very beautiful, right? And sometimes it could be just the photography. Sometimes it could be Photoshop. So I always encourage, if you find something online that you like, if you have the opportunity, go to the store, look at the product, because fashion, quality of the fashion is a very tactile experience. If you don't go touch and feel it, understand the quality of it, and look at the label and see what it's made of, and look at the stitches, because in a knit sweater, not all knit sweaters are created equal, Um, so I said that in the experience, you have to go out and look at things, and not just shop online. If you have the opportunity to go to the store and look at the quality, by all means, I encourage you to do it before you buy. And, I always say, again, you can shop online as much as you want. I encourage it, but buying it is another thing. Buy it very, very cheaply and frugally, So make sure that the money that you're spending, especially in high quality, fashion, it's, you have to think like, if you spend that kind of money, is it worthwhile for you to invest that kind of money into it? So anyway, that's it for today's lesson. If you have any questions, I will um, take a few questions now, and then again, all these videos that I'm doing on live, it will be replayed on YouTube. The following week. So in case you missed anything in this series, you're able to catch it back on YouTube. So anyway, let me see if you guys have any questions, and then I would do my best to try to answer. Okay. A bold mixed texture allowed. Yes, of course it's allowed, you know. So if that's your style aesthetic, and it's a way of pairing the the texture, right? So if you have a sweater that has a popcorn texture, so you might get a texture that is not as, you know, three-dimensional. It's you could have something that's a little bit less texture, but you're still able to, you know, mix the two textures together, you know. So there's so in a very maximum style aesthetic of more is more, there are rules for it. And if you want me to do a video or give you like a Pinterest board about it, you know, um, drop me a DM in Instagram and I will be sure to create a video, you know, for you showing you how, or create a Pinterest board showing you how. Um, any recommendation on cheap black flats? Um, so I don't know what you mean by cheap. Um, cause um, so again, like if you're investing on something that's like, I always just go look for something that's leather. Look at something that has stitching and something that isn't glued. You know, if you want something to last, you know, if you want something like cheap, you know, dupe or something like that, I can't recommend something like that because that's not my wheelhouse, and that's not something, you know, that I endorse. Is buying dupes. There's a whole um backlash in you know behind it because I think it's involved in slave labor, and a lot of times it's also low quality, so it wears out and becomes landfill, and I don't endorse anything like that. um let's see if you guys have any more questions. um I am You're very welcome. I am always happy to give my time, expertise in helping people curate and buy less, you know, because one of my one of the things I'm very passionate about is really giving advice and how to really, you know, stop over consumerism, because I think that that's the thing that is going to really impact, you know, sustainability, right? It's not like it's not about, you know, fast fashion brands doing XYZ. We already know that they do just, you know, very, very environmentally toxic bullshit kind of stuff, right? But I can't tell you not to buy it if I don't give you an alternative, you know, and how to stop it. So that's why I'm doing this series and, you know, giving you advice and giving, you know, my expertise about, you know, how to save your money. Stop buying those 10 disposable jackets, because you stop buying those 10 disposable jackets, you could buy 2 high quality jackets. And I will do a video explaining it in it, and I would break up the math for you. So this way, you know, I think it's when I do show and tell, I think it is very impactful. So I am definitely doing more of those videos. I have a whole bunch of videos that I'm gonna do. So where are the best sample sales? I don't know, because it's been a long time I've gone to sample sales. It's been a long time since I've really actually bought anything, because like I know what I have, and I am very, very frugal about, you know, what I would buy and what I need, you know. But if you want to know, I think you could probably do like a Google search, and I think that there's a whole bunch of listing about it. And usually, like at the end of the season, and I think I've given a breakdown in my YouTube videos about when the end of the season is. Usually at the end of the season, when brands have overstock, is when they put out sample sales. And if you want to get something like that, buy for sample sales. I think that you have to kind of know when the end of the season is, and that's when you have, um, you know, the sample sales. Let me see if you guys have any more questions. If not, then I am going to sign off. So I will be back next week. Again, every week I am trying to, you know, put out a series of personal style and like, you know, helping you develop your personal style. You know, and again, like I created, you know, 4 boards on Pinterest to kind of show you. So if you go check out my Pinterest boards, I give you like a mood board based on style aesthetics, so you can kind of stand like the style details behind how designers use these details and what things to look out for based on the 4 style aesthetics that I am talking about. And they're all like a lot more style aesthetic than the 4 I present, but they are usually derivatives of these 4, right? So the minimalist is a very basic. The maximalist is very more is more. Then there's a feminine one that's like it's all about, you know, very girly female, you know, details. And then an edgy style aesthetic is more like androgynous, you know, the edgy is more like masculine, you know, androgynous kind of style aesthetic. So I kind of create these boards, and I also broke it down to 6 colors, and the 6 colors are based on on 4 of the color palettes that I talked about, and I also did a YouTube video about how to find color palettes. And I know a lot of people are confused about how the color palettes work, which is why I use like, you know, 4 different color palettes. You know, so from analogous to split complementary to a monochromatic. So you have 4 different color palettes, and I think I am gonna do a video about it, and it's gonna be on Patreon. Just because all the stuff that I am doing on YouTube, all the stuff, I actually have to pay like a video editor for that, and I need like some kind of funding to kind of create these videos, because right now like I am just kind of paying out of pocket. So there are some things I am kind of putting onto Patreon to kind of get like the editor's fee at least, you know, like paid off, so I could, you know, help you guys and give you and provide information and stuff like that. Because again, like this is part of my time, but which is I'm okay with, but it's the financial fee that's like I need to kind of recuperate the cost. So anyway, let me see if you guys have any more. Okay. So if there's no more questions, I will speak to you guys next week. Bye.